there are talks that the government will soon impose a 20% down payment on vehicles across the Emirates. What are your thoughts on this?
Potentially that's a real issue for us. There is at the moment a discussion at high level and the governor of the Federal Bank is saying here that from the 1st of May that they want to impose a 20% down payment across all car products and I guess all other commodities of high value. We're worried, but we're confident that we can overturn it or certainly get some sort of liquidity in that decision, because if we don't, going forward, we've got to ask ourselves in terms of ability to pay 20% down payment, it could be contentious. And why? Because the bank at the same time are also focusing on people's equity to debt. In other words, their personal gearing. And again, the two hand in hand could present problems. But at the moment, we're quietly confident.
Mark, the start of 2010 was a bit difficult for the industry. Lending was tight and businesses were walking a tightrope. But mid-year onwards, Honda started launching vehicles such as the Civic Type R and the Cross Tour. How well are these products doing?
We're amazed by the Civic Type R. It's got a cult following, it's a specialist vehicle, it's high-end in terms of price. It's coming from the UK, where it's been a cult model and a halo model for many, many years. And we are delighted by its success, actually, and mostly sold to the Emirati population. Been very strong in that vehicle, particularly the younger generation, where the average age of purchase is around 27. And we've also been able, with a sister company of ours, to strike a very competitive insurance deal, because insurance is always the problem on a high-end sports car, but the two hand in hand have worked very well for us. So that's Type R. We've also had Cross Tour, and that came just about 7 or 8 months ago. Difficult in terms of its identity, because it competes in a very unusual segment. People compare it sometimes to BMW X6, which is a little bit unfair because we're at half the price. But what it has done is that the second generation, in other words, the new model change of them, the American market has realised that they've got to beef up the specification of that car, because in the UAE, specification is as important as price. So what we've now got is a model that's being actually equipped for the UAE and not just built for the American market. So overall, yes, sales are picking up and we're at about 100% improvement in the last 3 months.
In Dubai, there's a Honda on every street corner. Is it one of your strongest brands under Trading Enterprises?
Honda's always been a strong brand under Trading Enterprises. Just to tell you a little bit about the history, 1977 was the birth of Honda. We're obviously a big pillar, not just here, but also within the region. We have 4 markets out of 7, which is pretty strong. Qatar, Oman and Egypt coming into the other markets. And yes, there is a Honda on every street corner. And even if it isn't the primary car in the household, you tend to find as a secondary car, it will always be a very dominant car within the household. And the reason for that, Zeena, is because of our segmentation in terms of Jazz being our smallest entry point vehicle and Pilot being our greatest entry point vehicle. What we're trying to now do is expand the range so that we can appeal to the majority of people in terms of car buyers.